everybody, welcome back to Cottoverdi. My name's Annette. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I've got a couple of things to show you. So the first thing is I have a fabulous Dahlia haul here. This is only one of 3 Dahlia orders that I have coming, and I thought I'd just go through the varieties with you. I'll put a picture up on the screen and their height and flower size if I've got that information, and then also I thought today would be a good day to do a seedling update. So I'll go through the seedlings that have germinated, how long it took them to germinate, and what I'm doing with them now that they've germinated. And also I'm going to be sowing some anemones. So I thought I'd start with dahlias. I'm going to go through the ones in this order in alphabetical order, and I'll put a picture up on the screen with their name and the height they grow to and the flower size, because I always think those are the most useful bits of information. They all flower at the same time. I'm not going to plant them today or pot them up or start growing them. I won't do that until the beginning of March, because that's how it works with my last frost date. I don't want them to get too big before I have to plant them out, because I just can't, I've got nowhere to look after them. I know some people are new to dahlia growing, so in case you haven't seen a dahlia tuber before, I'm going to show you one so that you can see what it looks like. So this is a dahlia tuber, and this in fact is one tuber, and this is the crown of the plant here, and this is where the shoots are going to come up from. This is last year's stem. So all of these are tubers. These are roots that aren't particularly important. You can just pull those off. And all the eyes would be growing on the join somewhere here between where the crown is and where the tubers are. People talk about the necks, but some tubers have more neck than others. And the neck is literally just, if there's like a bit that joins the actual tuber that looks a bit like a potato to the crown. So this is how one tuber has arrived. If you just get one of these and it's still got some crown and an eye on it, that's completely valid. It's still perfectly fine to have that. All of mine today have come in paper bags. They're not packed with anything like sawdust or straw or compost or anything like that. And I'm going to leave them in this box, which has got air vent holes in it. And I'm going to put it in my garage with all my other dahlia tubers until I'm ready to plant them up. So the first dahlia is Alicia, and this is an anemone variety. Anemone varieties have got this sort of puffy central cone and then petals on the outside. And this one is a sort of soft candy pink colour with hints of buttery yellow in it. The next one I've got is American Dawn, which is a firm favourite decorative dahlia with loads of dahlia growers. It's a gorgeous warm pinky orange with a hint of lilac at the centre. The next one is called Bacardi, another decorative dahlia. This one is corally colour, a deep corally colour streaked with hot pink with a burgundy centre to it. Then I've got Bellefleur, another decorative dahlia, and this one is special because it's got these twisted petals that sort of give the flower a sense of movement, and this one's a gorgeous soft blend of rose pink and gold. Then I've got Balmera, I don't know how you say that. This is a dinner plate dahlia with huge flowers of warmest deep orangey pink. It's got masses of curvy petals and sort of just gives this idea of luxury. Then in this order, I've got Cafe au Lait. I've ordered Cafe au Lait, which is an incredibly famous dahlia because everyone wants it for their wedding because of the coloration with these gorgeous muted, I don't know, Cafe au Lait tones to it. But I've ordered more because I felt like my Cafe au Lait last year looked really sick, and I just want to replace the tubers that I have. I don't want to continue with anything that, I don't know, it just wasn't growing well. So the tuber looked fine when I dug it up, but it just wasn't growing well at all. So next I've got Cafe au Lait Rosé, and it is rosé because it's got an accent on the E, and this has been bred from Cafe au Lait, but this one has got, it's much pinker, so it's got this deep pink coloration to it. Then I've got Café de Paris, which is a semi-cactus dahlia, and this is just a spikier version of Cafe au Lait. Then I've got Copper Boy, which is a really nice ball dahlia in coppery shades, maybe amber, burnt orange, copper, those sort of colorations. Then I have Daisy Duke. I've tried to get hold of Daisy Duke in the past and been sent the wrong dahlias, so I'm really hoping this year. This is Daisy Duke. This is a huge decorative dahlia in deep peachy pink with a hint of purple at the centre before the flowers fully open, and then the purple will fade. The next one I've got is Feline Yvonne. Is it Feline Yvonne? Feline Yvonne? I think there's a play on words there, I don't know. Another decorative dahlia in a vivid, shocking pink colour with hints of purple, and it's got really dark, nearly black stems. And the next one I can't really pronounce. I think it's called Fenna Baige. Does that put people off buying them when we can't pronounce the names? I don't know. This is another anemone dahlia, which has got a really pronounced central puffy bit. And it's a gorgeous soft lilac-y colour, dusted with gold at the edges. Then I've got Happy Butterfly, which is a dahlia that I love and I have already, but I just wanted another dahlia plant because the tubers on Happy Butterfly just don't seem to multiply at a particularly fast rate. So I just ordered another plant, and Happy Butterfly is this gorgeous water lily dahlia with really soft yellow petals with purple and maroon streaks on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Next I've got High Fidelity, which is a decorative dahlia, and this is one of these lovely two-toned dahlias, really, I think, very stylish. They catch your eye. So this one is apricot with red on the reverse. Then I have another decorative dahlia called Iced Tea, and this one has got gorgeous warm tones of amber and peach. It's darker at the centre and fades to a paler colour on the outside. And I've got a ball dahlia called Jarry Frambo. There are loads of Jarrys, and I wanted Jarry Frambo because I don't have that one yet. And this one is just muted, warm pink tones. So then I've ordered another Kelsey Annie Joy. Again, I'm just doubling down on dahlias that I really love. So Kelsey Annie Joy is a gorgeous, very pretty, quite small flowered dahlia in this really unusual sort of, it's a collarette, sorry, I should mention that. So collarette dahlias have two rows, generally speaking, two rows of petals, with the inner petals being smaller or shorter than the larger petals on the outside, and they're two-toned normally. So Kelsey Annie Joy is this, it's just a lovely apricot-y, peachy orange colour, and then the little petals on the inside are a deeper red colour. Then I've ordered a huge dinner plate dahlia called Labyrinth. Everyone raves about Labyrinth. I've never had a Labyrinth, so I'm super excited to have this gorgeous dinner plate dahlia. And then I've got Linda's Baby, which is a really useful ball dahlia. It's just a lovely colour, really pretty pinky peach balls. And then I have Liquid Desire, which is another collarette dahlia. Now I do have a Liquid Desire already, but I've ordered another one because last year I probably only had 4 flowers on Liquid Desire and I really liked them, but I don't know whether that tuber was just weak and pathetic, or whether it's, you know, just how this particular dahlia grows, in which case I probably won't bother keeping it. But I thought I'd give a new dahlia tuber a go and see whether I can get more flowers. And it's this gorgeous deep purpley colour with a really lovely yellow centre, and it kind of fades to almost white at the edges. It's so pretty. Then I have Mango Madness. Now Mango Madness I've not had before, and when I was looking online to check the colour of Mango Madness, there was a huge range of colours. Now dahlias do change colour over the season, so I don't know whether this is one that just changes quite a lot over the season, or whether Mango Madness it's hard to photograph, maybe, I don't know. But it's a decorative dahlia in soft apricot with a smoky grey on the reverse of the petals. How apricot it is, we'll find out. You'd think it would be more mango coloured, really, Mango Madness. Then I have Natalie G, which is the tuber that I showed you at the beginning of this video. And that is a decorative dahlia in the softest salmon pink. And then I've got Night Silence. Now I had Night Silence 2 or 3 years ago, and then I lost, I'd say, 90% of my stock in a really bad winter that we had, and Night Silence was one that didn't survive, and then I couldn't get hold of it last year. But I have got Night Silence this year, and I may have ordered Night Silence from more than one supplier just to make sure that because sometimes the suppliers will go, oh, sorry, we couldn't fulfill your order. So I've doubled down on night silence, and I have night silence in this order and in another order coming, because night silence, well, great silence is an incredible dahlia I love, but night silence has just got these muted tones that are so pretty. I just fell in love with this dahlia, so I was really sad to lose it. So then I've got strawberry cream. Now I've seen dahlias called strawberries and cream. I don't know whether it's the same as strawberries and cream or whether strawberry cream is a different dahlia, but this one's got soft pinky petals marked with streaks of a deeper rose colour. And I think this particular description said that those streaks darken with age. Then I have a dahlia called Sweet Natalie. Another decorative dahlia that is wonderfully romantic with pale blooms, flushed pink, just like mother of pearl. And then I have Teesbrook Audrey, which is another collarette dahlia that I have already, but those plants were just, I don't know, sick looking last year. The petals went brown quite a lot, the stems were really weak. So I wanted to replace them this year. I couldn't see anything wrong with the tubers. Sometimes you can see that it's got gall, you know, leafy gall or whatever, but I couldn't see a problem with the actual tubers. Maybe it's, you know, how this flower grows, but it's got these gorgeous lilac blooms with like a white frill at the centre, and I really love the dahlia when it's looking healthy. So I have a new tuber, and I'm going to see whether I can just grow a healthier dahlia from that tuber. Now I thought I would just take you outside to the cold frames and show you what's going on there, and then take you through to my seed starting room so that we can see how everything's doing in there. So this is the seedling update. These are my sweet peas that I sowed on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. That's when I do it every year. And you can see that nothing much is happening, except this morning I got one rosy frills. At the moment, these are still in the kitchen. They are in indirect sunlight. They're getting sunlight from the skylights above. Not sunlight, they're getting light from the skylights above. The compost is kept moist and the temperature is about 18 degrees during the day. So these are all my seedlings that are out in the cold frame. Well, I say seedlings, but actually there's nothing much going on. So these here and these at the back are the clematis that I sowed, and nothing has germinated. And then these here are seeds that I sowed on the 30th of January. So I sowed some alliums, some anthericum and some galicia, and nothing has germinated yet, but then I kind of wouldn't expect it to. We are supposed to get some colder weather in, I think, about a week's time, so maybe more will germinate then. So I don't know whether to get excited about this. So I'm so inexperienced with growing clematis, I don't know whether that's a weed or it's actually one of my clematis that has germinated. If it is, I couldn't be more delighted, because it's the Omashiro, which is so beautiful. There's only one though, out of probably 5 or 6 seeds. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to assume it's not a weed and that it's one of my clematis that has started to grow. Time will tell. So for all of my seeds that I keep in the cold frames, I make sure that there's always ventilation. So I put a brick here in between the lid and the base so that there's a good gap for airflow. And I think that's quite important. You don't want them to be too hot. So that's what I do there. Over here are all the ranunculus that have germinated so far. You can see they're quite short, but very green, because as soon as I see green shoots, I bring them outside. The ones with labels are new to me this year. So that's both blue trays here. This one is cappuccino. All my cappuccinos have germinated. And this one over here this whole tray is porcelain. This whole tray is cappuccino, and this tray here are all my old corms from last year that have germinated. And in fact, you'll see I've got another tray that's also germinated that I need to bring out but it's over with my seeds. So with all my ranunculus, as soon as I see any germination, any little green shoots, then I bring them outside and put them in the cold frames. They really do prefer cold temperatures, and if they get daylight, I feel that they're just much healthier than growing them indoors. I keep them really protected though from squirrels and mice by keeping them in the cold frames and closing the lids at night. With the cold frames, again, just like the seedlings, I prop them open at night with a brick. So they're open during the day, and then at night I put a brick between the lid and the base so that there's some airflow and they get those cold temperatures that ranunculus really enjoy. Obviously, if it was going to get to 0 or below, I would close the cold frames, and if it gets really cold, like -5 degrees centigrade, then I would put horticultural fleece over them before I close the lids. Okay, so we're back here in my seed starting room. It's a little bit echoey, sorry. So normally I have lights on everywhere. I've got a little fan here blowing a breeze, but I've turned them off because it flashes when I'm filming. I don't understand why. Something to do with timing for LED lights. So just imagine that they're normally all on. So this is how all my snaps are doing. These are snaps, these are snaps, and these are snaps. You'll see that I have the sticky yellow things on all the trays, and that's actually just for me to be able to monitor how many fungus gnats I have. So generally speaking, obviously I don't want any fungus gnats, but by putting the sticky traps up before you have fungus gnats, you can tell when you've got an infestation because you'll start seeing them sticking to it, and then you can deal with the problem in advance. That's my theory anyway, that's what I do. This is Madam Butterfly Cherry Bronze. They got a little bit leggy because they didn't take them off the heat mats fast enough, but I'm almost at the stage where I'm getting my true leaves popping through. They're just going to start any minute. These were sown on the 2nd of February and it's now the 20th of February. So this is what they look like. They're a little bit slow growing snaps, but don't panic. Now with a lot of these, I'll leave 2 in each cell, and with the others, I'm just going to come along with some little snips and snip off the extra seedlings, that the weaker ones, so the smaller ones. And then this tray here, this is my penstemon twizzle coral, and they're growing really well. I don't have any true leaves yet. This is chocolate drop. Again, these are much smaller than the twizzle, but I don't have any true leaves on those either. This is my Erigeron Koviskianus. Love saying that name. Again, they're so small I haven't thinned them yet, but do I have true leaves on those? No. So I don't have any true leaves on those yet, so I won't thin those until I do. And this is my steeper lace veil grass. Again, I still only have 4 grasses, none of the others have germinated. Someone was asking me about Lisianthus. They are the slowest growing seeds you ever known. I sowed these on the 10th of January. They germinated quite quickly. So I got lots of the Voyage 2 First Love, lots of Roseanne Clear Green, and I've only got 2 of the Corelli Light Pink, one there and one there. And then this is Orlaya, and I sowed the Orlaya on the 7th of February, and I think I got germination in like 7 days, and they're growing. They look a bit floppy because I just watered them this morning, but you can still see the seeds on the seed leaves here. So these, the seed casings will drop off quite quickly. Now I did an experiment where some of the Orlaya seed I laid bristles side down and some I laid bristles side up. And interestingly, this tray germinated. Let me get the other tray. So this is the tray that was laid bristles side up. So the tray where I laid all the seeds bristles side down germinated. Exactly the same conditions. They were in the same 4-cell tray with the same humidity dome over them, and this tray hasn't germinated at all. So if you're ever wondering which way to lay your Orlaya seeds, I have the answer for you from my very tiny experiment. Lay your Orlaya seeds bristles side down. So on the next shelf down, look how many schizanthus germinated, and they're getting their true leaves. So it's definitely time to thin these out, and I will be thinning them out and possibly potting them on so that I can have absolutely loads of them and maybe give them to some friends. So both trays are exactly the same schizanthus called angel wings. This here is my Pitillutus Jerry Mulla plant, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seeds have germinated. These are the fluffy pink things. I'm very excited about having those. These are my Saponaria or Vacaria hispanica. You can see I didn't get germination in every cell, but I did get 2 in some of them. This one here is leaning over. I think the seed just wasn't deep enough, and so it's kind of fallen over. I don't think that's not damping off. The stems look absolutely fine. I'll just bury them deeply when I put them on. And they are getting their true leaves, so it's definitely time to move some of those on. This is my Eryngium white glitter. So I sowed this on the 10th of January with my Lisianthus, and they're doing quite well. They're getting their true leaves as well, and it's probably time to split these up and just move them into individual cells. So this is Persicaria I sowed on the 7th. This is so exciting. So I've had 2 germinate, and I've taken them off the heat mat because look how leggy it's getting. So even though the lights were on, it was trying to get away from the heat. So I have moved them onto a non-heat. These are heat mats, but they're just not on. I am waiting for the rest to germinate. I don't know whether they will. Maybe I'll only get 2 Persicaria. And then these are my climbing snapdragons, Acerina, and they're doing quite well. They're just as little as any other snapdragon, I think. These are my ladybells, Adenophylla. So again, I've got a little yellow sticky thing to make sure I don't have any fungus gnats. And then this is my pink dwarf butterfly larkspur, and they're looking super healthy. They're doing really well also. So that's everything that's germinated on these 2 shelves. And then down below, these are my ranunculus. So these are my Charmello, and you can see that most of them have germinated. The reason they're green and not white is because I don't bother putting mine in a dark room. They germinate just as fast when they're not. And I'm just waiting for a few more to germinate before I move these out to the cold frame. So it's pretty much the same with the marshmallow, but I think I've got a slightly slower germination there. They'll all be fine, they will germinate. And I know some of them look dry, but I don't want to overwater the ones that have germinated. So this is my other tray of the corms that I had left over from last year, and there's pretty much green on all of these. So I will be moving these outside today into the cold frames. So moving over from this side to this side, I've got 2 trays under the lights here, not on heat mats or anything, but these are ranunculus from last year. I'm still waiting for most of those to germinate. None of them have done anything yet. These are penstemons and heliotrope. I've got 1 heliotrope that's germinated over here. This is another 3 varieties of penstemon here. None of those have germinated. These are larkspur, and I do have the dwarf blue larkspur. I've got a few seeds that have germinated. Over here, this is where the other tray of Orlaya is, where nothing's germinated yet, and these were sticky side up. And then these are my Nautia Macedonica Melton pastels, and these haven't germinated either. I always have a companion when I come in here. Cosmo! Oh, he's fascinated by the droplets of water. So on the next shelf down, I have got my hairy chervil, my aruncus, and my pimpinella, and nothing's germinating on those yet. On the one behind, those are all my Francoa. Nothing has germinated on the Francoa. This tray is empty because I'm currently bottom watering it over there. So those are larkspur, my misty lavenders and stuff like that. And this tray at the back here is more larkspur, and they haven't germinated yet either. So this is my setup over here. I have a tray of water that I bottom water things in. I have a misty bottle that I can pump and mist things with, watering can, sticky labels, and this is my Arena champagne that did not germinate, and you can see I've just taken it out and dumped it. Oh, sorry, these are lysianthus. So nothing germinated on there, and I've given up waiting for them. So they're going to go on the compost heap. So I'm now going to pot up my anemones, and I'll show you what I'm doing. There's only one variety of anemones that I'm doing today, but I've ordered 30 corms because I have a big garden to fill, and these are such pretty colours. I'll put a picture up on the screen, but these are called Galilee Pastel Mix. They're so beautiful, and actually they did arrive in the autumn, and I've just kept them in the garage overwintering because I like to sow my anemones at the same time as I sow my ranunculus. I found that if I put them out when they're tiny little plants, that they don't overwinter well in my clay soil, and also they get eaten by the mice and the squirrels. However, once I've grown them from scratch, I don't dig the anemones up again. So all the anemones that I had in my beds from last year have overwintered in those beds and are shooting and coming back again. So anemones are something that I don't dig up. I do treat my anemones in exactly the same way as I treat my ranunculus. So I'll soak them, and then I'll just poke them into a 9cm pot, and I'll grow them on inside until I see shoots appearing, and then I move them out to my cold frames, and then they get planted after my last frost. I soak my anemones for a little bit longer than I soak my ranunculus, but in all honesty, if you don't have time to soak them, then just don't. If you haven't seen anemone corms before, they look a little bit different to ranunculus. They don't look like octopus at all. They kind of look more pointed, and when we plant them pointy side down. Sometimes they don't have a point. Sometimes they come and they're just like a big round flat blob. And I think it depends on the variety of an anemone, in which case just plant it and the plant will find the right way up. I don't pre-moisten my compost, but once I've poked the anemone corm into the compost, I don't poke it down very far either. It's kind of almost at surface level. I then water the pots in, and I won't water again until either they are really dry or the anemones have started shooting and I put them in the cold frames, and that's when I water them again. But that's it for today. I really hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you've enjoyed this video, do give it a like. It really does help me. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.